Welcome to another episode of The Faces of Acupuncture. Today's guest is Dr. Danett Bean. Danett, why don't you tell me how you got started in Chinese medicine and acupuncture?
Yes, so I believe it was back in the 90s. One of my friends from college suggested that I go for acupuncture. And I was like, no, I'm not going anywhere to voluntarily get needles.
Right.
No, thank you. Come again.
We hear that all the time. Oh, the needles, right?
Yes. But I trusted this friend, so I was like, let me at least try it. And
Okay.
it was an amazing experience. I owe that so much thanks to you for
Okay.
me being in this field. And the experiences that I had were so life changing.
Okay.
You know, things that I didn't realize were off with my health would correct.
Okay.
And I would have visions on the table, and I was like, wow, I want to help other people experience this. So that started me on my path to go to acupuncture school and complete that. And then I did some work in the field for some different not-for-profits. And then I did my postgraduate work in women's health and geriatrics.
You went so fast over 10 years of your life. I wish life was slowed down a little bit. Okay, so what we're going to do,
Yeah.
we're going to go back and talk about how was it to struggle to try, and you had to go to school where? First.
Long Island.
Okay, so
First Long Island and then Oregon.
Okay, so Long Island. So you had to travel out to Long Island on the train
Trains, sometimes driving.
in middle of winter, cold.
Yes.
Coming back late in the evening or
Yes.
night.
Yes.
You was all by yourself.
Yes.
Struggling after, was it 3.5 year or 4 year program? What was
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. 2000 to 2003.
it? Okay, so
Yeah.
that was a long haul, right?
Yes.
And dedication.
Yes.
And so it was not easy.
It was not easy, but I was in love.
Oh.
I was in love. I was like, dang, this is deep. I was like, wow, this is making life make sense.
Woo!
I remember being in fundamentals classes, and some of my peers, they were like fighting with the information. And I'm
Right.
like, you can't put this into a box of what you know already. You just have to be open to
Right.
receive and have another way of being able to understand health and the body and
Right.
life.
Right.
That to me was the key.
Okay, so with psychology, of course, in Western psychology, they go through all these different theoretical schools. You had the Freudian psychology, where one of the basic ideas is that the father and the son, a feud that's going on, right? Because the father having sex with the mother, and
There's
the
all
son,
kinds of
the son is upset and he wants to kill the father. And it's so confusing, to have these different cognitive psychology, all this different stuff going on. So I imagine when you hit Chinese medicine, the theoretical aspect of it, and they start talking about, these different emotional states related to different kind of organs and different elements. I mean, that must have been ground, shaking for you, who come out of these theoretical frameworks of, this is psychology, and you're finding out, a person's organ imbalance can make them, shy or, have anxiety.
Yes.
I mean, what was that experience like for you?
It was beyond eye-opening. It provided depth,
Okay.
and as I'm getting older, I appreciate depth more than ever before,
Okay.
What I learned with the Western psychology was what that was.
Okay.
It was what that was. It was that picture.
Okay.
And then getting to understand emotional well-being from a Chinese medicine perspective, it was so much more for me holistic.
Right.
It was more hopeful.
Okay.
Because it's like, okay, so this is going on, so we can do this, and then it's really going to help, health and well-being on so many different levels.
Okay, so let's jump into Oregon. Now
Okay.
we left Long Island. Now we went all the way to Oregon. So what happened over there? Talk to me.
Oregon is not Brooklyn.
Oh yeah, well we know that.
It's not Brooklyn
Yes.
at all. The air was amazing. The
Okay.
air quality was amazing.
Okay.
I just wanted to learn more.
Okay.
And so the specialty there was women's health and geriatrics.
Okay.
And I don't know, I was just really feeling women's health. And I
Okay.
loved the idea of understanding more about what happens as we get older, because I was like, oh, we could really do prevention, which is
Yes.
what the medicine was founded in.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Longevity.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
So big compartment of
Yes.
in Chinese medicine of
Yes.
longevity.
Yes.
In fact, just Chinese medicine itself is based on longevity.
Yes.
So
yes.
how each stage of your life they have these years and like if you're 25, this is what you must do.
Yes.
35,
Yes.
45, 55,
Yes.
and all these different things,
Yes.
related to you and they separated male and female,
Yes.
right? And I mean, it's just amazing how they have all this stuff. So,
And that's what I wrote my capstone project on.
so that's what we're coming to now. So
Yes.
talk about that.
Yeah, so my capstone project was on the cycles of 7.
Oh,
for
wait.
women.
Explain to the audience what capstone means.
Oh, okay.
Because we talking to everybody. We ain't talking about like the academics. We know
Yes.
capstone. Oh yeah. You did your capstone. You got your PhD.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Talk to the audience. Explain.
Yeah, so it's a long paper that you write.
A
when
book.
essentially,
Yeah.
that you need to write to be able to get out of some postgraduate programs.
So like a dissertation.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So and you have to defend it.
And that was a labor of love.
Okay,
so I got to
Okay.
to that point. I learned a lot about myself
Yeah,
in
of
that
course.
process.
Okay. So how was the school there? Was it worthwhile?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I mean, it was so different than any schooling that I'd ever received, because you're sitting, we didn't sit at rows of desks. We were all at one big table.
Okay.
And these were practitioners with some people with many years of
Yes.
many years of experience.
Yes.
And we'd have different guest lecturers come in.
Right.
And sometimes the guest lecturers would be laying out all this amazing stuff. A hand would go, well, actually, when I've done such and such,
Yeah.
and I'm looking around like, oh my
Ooh.
gosh, like we have this master here.
Yes.
But then in respect to my classmates, they, had their clinical experience
Right.
and masters in their own way.
Right.
So it
right.
was very much a different kind of schooling experience than I'd ever had.
Yeah, that was a high level. You was
Yeah.
at a high level.
Yeah.
This is what actually a lot of these programs now they don't really. You went through a unique time. A lot of these programs is directing people into very specific aspects of modern biomedicine.
Mm.
So you get a degree, but you really spend more of your time trying to integrate your degree and your knowledge into the biomedicine hospital system, Western medicine.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the things I see that's happening now among a lot of the young people. They want to get, of course they want prestige, so they get get a doctorate, but they really, Chinese medicine in its essence is holistic.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Yes.
to really just kind of, truncate it and just take a little piece off and say, there's populations you work with, but even when you work with those populations, you still apply the holistic principles to it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So tell me a little bit about your practice.
Yeah, so I practice in
Well,
Brooklyn.
wait. Tell me how you got to start at the beginning of your practice to where you are now, so they can see where you came from. You weren't born and became
Right.
an adult overnight, right? You
Right.
weren't, like, so it took some
Right,
years to
wrapped
grow.
in my student loan debt.
Right.
No.
Well, that's
No, it's an
that's
investment.
real.
It's an
Yeah,
investment.
That's
though.
real.
Yes,
That's real.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so let's see. So I started practicing in 2003,
Okay.
and I had my private practice, and then I got to work for some not-for-profits. And then after I completed the...
Which not-for-profit?
You said which ones?
Yeah.
It was for grant. It was basically grants through transitional housing sites.
Okay. So
Yeah.
what the population was there was like homeless people?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And
yeah.
how did they take what you were doing?
It was a range
Okay.
of reactions. There
Okay.
were some people who were like looking for me, and some people who were running.
Okay.
And some people tatted out, and they see me, they'd be huge.
Because they think of the same experience they have with the tattoos.
Yes.
They think it's the same thing.
Yes.
So the management they were helpful when you were doing this. Okay.
Yes.
So that's that's good. That's good.
Yes.
All right. Continue.
Yes.
I'm gonna.
Yeah, so let's see. So then after I completed my postgraduate work, I was
Okay.
all about women's health and longevity.
Okay.
And then I taught obstetrics and gynecology at
Okay.
acupuncture college. And I just felt like I was all kind of gassed, like, oh,
Right.
I know women's health. Oh, I know this, you know.
Right.
And then I had my son, and I got sick as all get out.
Well, you mean after you had your son, you had a postpartum depression?
Well, that's what many people would think.
Okay, so what did you have after you had your son?
Yes. So what I learned that I had was something called postnatal depletion. Which
Okay,
is all
that's a
about,
Chinese concept.
Yes.
But it's not, they call it in Western medicine, they would just associate that low energy and depression as postpartum blues or depression. But the Chinese have a very different take on it, right?
Yes, and actually, since that time, things have shifted so much.
Okay, but I want you to talk about that.
Yeah,
Okay.
so back in, I guess it was 2015, I was like, by the time I was feeling better, so he was born in 2012. 2015, I was like, I didn't go through all of this to not share what I had experienced.
Okay.
I was like, there's no way. And so so I had some business coaching at the time, and they were saying, oh, nobody's thinking about maternal health. Don't worry about doing it. And I was like, I don't know. I've been through this. I have to write about it. Right. So I wrote my book, A Taste of Our Own Medicine.
Okay. The name of the title?
A Taste of Our Own Medicine.
Okay.
3 vital keys to ending postnatal depletion, nurturing mothers, and improving communities.
Okay. So how was your book received?
It was received really well. It became a bestseller online in 2017.
Okay. So let's go back and, as we were talking about how the Chinese talk about longevity and the concept of like Jing, which is like sort of like DNA,
Yes.
So,
yes.
With telomeres and,
yes.
and the reproductive, photocopy of your genetic
yes.
material.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about Jing. What
oh
is
my
this
goodness!
thing? Just hit us up a minute. We're going to talk about this later in our brown table, but just hit people up with this idea.
Yes.
What is this, and how can you make it, or what things make it better, and what things make it worse?
Yeah. So to some extent, it's about what was going on for your parents. It's your inheritance in a sense. It's what your mother's health was like, what your dad's health was like, and what was even going on in the cosmos during the time of your conception, and what you come in with in terms of your health and well-being.
Okay. So so that makes me think that if you had that kind of information, then you can make a very intentional decision to have a child in a certain way. Is that something that could happen?
Yes.
Is that what they do?
I mean, you can build Jing, but it's not the easiest thing to do.
Okay.
Yes.
So you can have an impact on your offspring.
Yes.
Is that something that they...
Oh my gosh. I mean, I say generational health. We talk about generational wealth. We talk about generational health.
So you can actually have an impact on the grandchildren and the great-grandkids based on what you do.
Absolutely.
Okay. So like, for instance, what kind of things are you would suggest? Like if diet, exercise, spirit. What would you do to make an improvement? We're just snapshots. They're gonna have to read your book to get all the details of that.
Yes.
But a snapshot. What would a woman, do? In light of what's happening now with this whole mortality, Black women.
Yes.
Okay. In pregnancy and childbirth are dying like crazy.
Yes.
So I always thought about this as, because as a practitioner, I'm thinking, they need to really focus on some basic things before they get pregnant.
Yes.
To have an intention on how they need to bring their bodies up to a certain level. And then also what they do during the pregnancy, itself. So talk to me. What kind of things do you put in your...
said so much.
Just snaps, like little snaps. Don't give me the whole deal, right? Because we'll be here another hour or two.
Oh, at minimum. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I think that it's when a woman has a child, it's very, it can be complicated. It's very simple. It's very simple, and it's also very complicated in the sense that a lot of women get pregnant and may not have intended to get pregnant. And so at that time, a lot of it comes down to what has your lifestyle been? what has it been during that time?
Okay, question. Would you tell women that if you're gonna be active, that you should really be taking care of your health, not just
I would tell women to do this with their babies
or
and just the whole life,
okay,
each span
okay,
from the beginning
okay, good,
throughout.
okay, go ahead.
Absolutely.
All right, Dr.
Absolutely.
Bean, it's your show. Come on, I'm all ears. Talk to me.
Yes, I mean, I think that it's, in a way, it's like I said, it's simple, but it's also very complicated. I think that some women, there's a lot of stress
Okay,
for some women if they haven't conceived.
right.
There is stress for some women who have conceived.
Okay.
And then there's sometimes like this whole thing about what one should do. And I think the shoulds have to really get thrown out.
Okay.
And everyone has to think about their individual health
Okay.
and well-being. And when I work with women, the thing is, let's get you your healthiest.
Yes.
And then if your body, which I believe is the best accountant there is, sees fit that, you know, it's willing and it has the jing, it has what it needs to provide your offspring, it will.
Okay. I mean, many of us, when we get into this medicine, we look back and say, we wish our parents had this kind of knowledge before conception. I might have had some other things that might have been added to my jing.
Yes.
That, you know, I mean, this is the kind of knowledge. I mean, you see a lot of people today, they're talking about, you know, anti-aging and all this kind of stuff, and, you know, taking 10,000 pills and, you know, doing Botox to get, you know, all this anti-aging stuff, you know, hair and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, so.
And I'm sorry, I just want to make one clarification. And then some women do IVF, IUIs, and that's fine too. It's, you know, we can support there also, you know, we can support there also. There's no, they say there's no right or wrong way to eat a Reese's or whatever.
Okay. That's
what they say. There's no right or wrong way. You get to have your health and your well-being.
You want the front, the back, up top, whatever. Got it. Explain about your business practice and also the future of this medicine.
Yes, so I do a lot of work with women's health in Brooklyn. I'm really into helping long-term maternal health, which is something that I think has dramatically affected women's health, and that we don't even know about a lot of that yet. As far as the future of the medicine, it's wide open. We need help in our communities, and there's so much that can be done. So it's a wonderful profession. You get to, you know, if you're in a balanced space, you get to heal people and be healed yourself.
So your practice, I understand you and your husband work together, so financially it must be very rewarding, both financially and because you have a partner you can depend on and doing the same thing. So it must make life a lot easier in some ways and then maybe harder in others. Explain.
Yeah, I mean, there's things we can definitely take for granted, you know, like we're going to roll out for vacation on a Monday, you know, when maybe you're supposed to be coming into work. We're like, no, we're going to, you know, take this vacation. So, yeah, the flexibility is payment in and of itself also. Okay. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Danett. It's been a pleasure.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Stay right there. 4, 3, 2. That's a cut. Thank you very much.
Danett, we need